Guys, it is the last Flosstube of 2019. We have a visitor who is all Christmas partied out, so he will probably stay right there snoozing the entire time. I have a lot to show you guys. So I've got some progress. I've got a new start. I have some planned new starts potentially. I have some haul. I have a little bit more information on what I'm planning for our birthday start for 2020. Dharma's walking by, and she is the most anxious, jumpy cat. She and I are so much alike. She was walking through, and I don't know what she saw, but she jumped straight up about a foot off the floor, and then you could tell she was immediately like, all right, we're good. That wasn't anything bad. I'm okay. I'm going to proceed with caution. I put on real clothes for you guys. This is where my hair was curled for something over the weekend. I pulled it back and we're going with it. Where to start? Let's pull out some WIPs. Don't really know what order we're going to go in, so we're just going to pull out this stack of bags. See what we got here. What are you? We'll start with this. This is one that I started with Jessie Marie. This is my Leah Grinnell sampler. I love it. I actually am thinking this is one I may try to finish in 2020 just because I love it so much. I think it's beautiful. I think the colors are beautiful and vivid and fun to stitch. And I would just really love to have it on my wall. I'm rifling through pages looking for the cover. Here we go. This is Leah Grinnell, 1872. This is by Mary Wind Farm. I bought this from her Etsy shop. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to pause this. Better. I bought this from her Etsy shop. 123 Stitch and other stores do carry some Mary Wind Farm things, but for some reason not this one, and I think this is one of her best charts. So if you're interested in this, go onto her Etsy shop. Absolutely beautiful. The verse is amazing, and I got a lot done on it. I am doing this, I'm pretty sure, on a piece of silk weaver fabric. It's got all of my lovely wrinkles in it because that's just how I roll, guys. I love it. I'm doing this in the called for threads. Although this calls for Classic Colorworks. It was originally done in wools. She has charted it for the wools, but she also gives you the floss amounts if you wanted to do it in the cottons, which are the same colors. I'm doing it in the cottons. One day I'll stitch with wools, I guess. I don't know. I love cottons. So pretty. So pretty. So yeah. Totally a planned finish for 2020. With that said, plans, guys, you know that I in particular make plans to break them apparently, and we'll get more into that as this video goes along. But let's just start off by saying I laughed at myself as I did it and kind of picked a Stitch 9 when Michelle Rudy was doing that last year. I'll even pop the picture up, wherever it goes. I think I finished 3 of those. Of course, 2 of the 3 that I finished were huge pieces. I finished Mermaid's Folly, I finished His Eyes on the Sparrow, and I finished Goatload. Mermaid's Folly and His Eyes on the Sparrow are huge. People drive through my neighborhood honking their horns like hoodlums. I'm going to make plans. I'm going to not do those plans. More on that later. Okay. Me and Sarah Cameron pull this out occasionally. We're trying to at least every Christmas and work on it. This is Angelica by Lavender and Lace. I am stitching her on a 32 count piece of fabric that you cannot get anymore because the dyer no longer dyes, so I'm sorry. But I'm sure that there's probably a PTP equivalent. It's just a nice green. Last year I found the top of the piece. This year I found closer to the bottom of the piece. So this year what I got in is I stitched in a lot of this, and then most of this right here, I got that light green in there. Really is a lovely, lovely piece. Really looks like a piece of Renaissance art. That's why I'm drawn to it, even though I'm not really a religious person. I the detail in that face. She is lovely. Who knows what I'll do with her when I eventually finish her, hopefully in the next decade. Love her. And it's nice to have somebody to motivate me to put some stitches in on it. Because while I still love her, my style has changed a bit since I first started her. But I still love her. But I have all these samplers, so this is another piece that I pull out every Christmas. I have now put it in this nice wintry bag that I made when I first started making bags, so it's not that wonderful. This is my Christmas Quaker. If my voice sounds different, I got one of the worst colds. Long story short, my doctor told me I needed to take an antibiotic. I said, I'm not sick, I don't need an antibiotic. My doctor said, I'm prescribing it. You should really take this and get this cleared up. And I said, so I took 2 days of it because I immediately got sick. And then I quit taking it. I'm fine. I shouldn't take antibiotics when I know I don't need them. Love this. I am doing this on Picture This Plus Oaken with, there's a hank of silk in here that I got from, I think it was Dinky Dyes. They have an Etsy shop, and they occasionally will try for a new color, I think, and then they're like, that's nice, but maybe not one that will put into our lineup, so they'll sell a hank. So I jumped on that. Didn't do a lot on this year. I did a little bit. This piece of fabric is, with the margins as they are, is pretty much the size it's going to be when I eventually finish it. But I do enjoy just stitching on it at Christmas, and eventually I will finish it, and maybe I'll put it on my mantle at Christmas time. It's really nice. I don't generally stitch with silk threads, and I know I've mentioned this before, but there's something about the way they feel, and they get stuck on my cuticles because I'm an anxious person, and I chew my cuticles constantly. So me and silks are really friends. So I just love the way the cotton feels and the sound that it makes pulling through linen. This was my Halloween new start. Changed a couple of the colors, but for the most part I am using the Called For DMC. You can see on the back here where I've made a few adjustments and then even changed those adjustments. This is a Ghoul Time Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. I love this piece. It is so much fun to stitch on. I love the color palette, and honestly, I absolutely love the linen I'm stitching it on, and that helps motivate me a lot. As the garbage truck goes by. This is Under the Sea Fabrics Properly Primitive. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love this fabric. It's a neutral, but it's not a neutral. Like it's just this perfect brown and green. But this is about how big it'll be. This is where I am. That side is completely finished. When I pull this back out again, I'm going to transition and start doing the center. I know I measured this, but I'm wondering if it's going to be a little bit closer to this side of the fabric than this side of the fabric. Maybe not. Love this. Absolutely love this. I know Happy Go Stitchy, one of Olivia's besties, they're doing a stitch along with this called the Great Ghoultide Sal, and I kind of invited myself in and joined along with that, and I'm using that hashtag on Instagram. I think that's one thing. I keep closing these up without putting the cover sheet in there. I think that's one of the things that I love about Sal so much is it's not necessarily the starting and finishing with people, because we, you know, most of us are just going to finish when we finish. But it's the seeing other people working on the same project and doing it maybe in different threads, maybe in different fabrics. It's pretty inspirational. This is a Target bag. I forget who, McKenna or one of those ladies, told me that they had these in their dollar spot for like $3. My problem with it is you can see that's the top of my 8.5 by 11 chart, which doesn't really want to fit in there well. The wind. What is inside of this bag is Brenda and Laura's fault. They made me feel really guilty because I didn't have a red sampler. They told me I was breaking the law. Is it your law or your rules? Because I keep, like, I need to go back and watch the video. But I'm breaking the rule, I'm breaking their law, I'm breaking something. I'll check it out and put what I'm going to be hashtagging up here, which is follow the red sampler rule or law, Sal, because you gotta follow the rule. I am going to do the Sophie R. Fielder sampler. This is one that I've had for a while, and I absolutely love it. It's by Threads of Gold. The original, you can tell, is done in these different shades of browns and blacks. Some of the stitching is so pale you can't even really see it on here. But I'm going to do it entirely in red. And I'm going to do it entirely, this is probably not going to be enough to finish it, but I bought this, in Classic Colorworks Campfire, which is just a beautiful, like, orangey red that's very warm, and I love it. I started this just enough, got just enough done on it where I would not be breaking the rule or the law as I went into 2020. So here we go, ladies. I even put my needle in my fabric. I'd never do that. But I'll show you in just a second what I started, the reason I just so abruptly put this one down. This is lovely. This is on a piece of fabric that I've never stitched on before. It is a silk weaver fabric, but it's a 38 count. I'm doing it 2/2. I've discovered while doing this that's where I should probably be doing this 1/2 on 38 count. I do 1/2 on 40. I do 2/2 on 36. 38 should be 1/2. But I'm going to keep on because the majority of this is like this alphabet, and there aren't any like stitches right to the side of a lot of things. But as I'm going down this line here, it's feeling a little snug. Especially, you can see it. Anyway, it's feeling a little snug, but it's fine. Keep on keeping on. What I started yesterday is one that I got for Christmas. I dug through my fabric and found a piece of fabric that I had overdyed myself and set aside and said, one day that color will be right for something. I was trying to cover up a color I didn't like and did it kind of a medium dark brown with kind of some some different tones to it. It's fairly equivalent to DMC 3772. But this is the Ann Thomas 1854 sampler from Hats. And it's exquisite. It's absolutely beautiful. These are, I'm doing it in DMC. These are the DMCs for it. I got it all kitted up. And I'm doing it on this piece of fabric that I dyed myself. And I'm going to try to not have light coming through. It's beautiful. So I'm going to work on this some more today. And I have one other start that I'm going to do tomorrow. So that I start with Amy and Diana. But I'm telling you ladies, I'm going to do very little on it. And then I'm coming right back to this. Because I kind of had got a bit of a crush on her, and there's no other way to say it, and I just really want to spend all my time with her. So that's this. You can tell how big she'll be. So that's that. Those are my threads, which next I have some haul. And I have some things that I may start in 2020. This was my big gift from Jim. He apparently picked this up in an estate sale. And it's my very first really old framed antique sampler. Guys, I don't cry. I got a little misty when he gave me this. This is Margaret Elliott, 1847. I'll read the verse. You know, I'm not religious, but I even kind of like this. It says, "O gracious Lord, whatever my lot in other times may be, I'll welcome still the heaviest grief that brings me near to thee." The border is spectacular. It looks as though it has been reframed professionally, and as you look through it, it looks like it has been taken off of whatever it was on before, and it looks like it has been put on a piece of acid-free board. So I'm just going to find a place for this in my home and put it up and let it be. Oh, what I'm going to start tomorrow with Amy and Diana is this. This is their Gotta Have Friends sale, where they're doing the Quaker Seasons of Friendship. You can order this from Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach. This was, you can get it from, I think, either there or the Attic. I think I ordered my copy from the Attic because I didn't know when I got this forever ago that it was through Dying to Stitch. There's a lobster. That's why I bought it. I love everything about it, but there's a lobster on it. I am doing this on a piece of Picture This Plus Wren with a ton, I ordered a ton of Classic Colorworks Sticks and Twigs, which this is, Sticks and Twigs is like DMC 3021, but with some variegation. So pretty. 3021 is one of my favorite, like, moody DMC browns. So, no wonder I really like that one. Let's do haul. Apparently, people thought I needed more charts for Christmas because that's a lot of what I got. I'll set that one to the side for right now. Plum Street Samplers Autumn Salt Boxes. One of the things I'm going to try to do in 2020 is get some smalls done. So I actually have a stack over there of smalls that I'm going to try to get worked on and get those done. Get them up in my house. Lottie Da Virtue. I really love this one. It's been on my wish list for a while. Goody Grimwood. Guys, it's a little cutesy, but that house screams Emily. Look at that thing. Then you got the lady riding a bird. When I do it, I'll darken it up a little, but that one was, I'm leaving that one to the end. Little House Needleworks, the Millicent Turner sampler. I really like this one. I like it a lot. It's a smaller sampler. Tree of Life samplings, 1831 Brick House. This one has been on my wish list for a while. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a nice skinny little sampler, but don't let it fool you. It is pretty big. So pretty. Love me a nice house. I'll show that in a second. Okay, these are ones that I bought myself off of eBay. This is an anonymous sampler by Chartmakers. You can still find this one sometimes. I saw it and it popped up and I had to have it. And of course it couldn't travel alone. So it came with, I think this was a 2019 Nashville release that I for some reason had just never bought. You don't see it as much. This is the Ian Spence 1801 sampler. By Giulia Manfredini. I think this is an Italian designer. It's really beautiful. You can still find it, so here's the name of it. If anybody wants to go hunting for it, it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is going in my stash of potential starts. The one that I got from Jim that I am in love with and have been coveting, and it has been a unicorn chart for me for some time, and I could only find it at one place on the internet, and I would have to order it from Europe. And the idea of ordering one chart from Europe, I couldn't wrap my head around. I actually showed this chart to Teresa Vanette months ago, and I was like, I think you could maybe figure out a way to carry this in your shop. She does. She listened to me. She found this designer. Like I said, I think this might be an Italian designer. I could be wrong. And she now carries several of her charts. The designer is Samplers Forever, Claudia Cesare. And this is Sarah Needham, around 1860. And this is, like I said, has been my unicorn chart. Jim got this from Teresa for me because I was telling him that, oh, she did it. She did it. She started carrying this chart that I've been looking for. I'm going to have to get that. He got it for me for Christmas. The border is amazing. That house, the lawn, guys. And for those of you who don't know Teresa, she is Kitten Stitcher and Shakespeare's Peddler and a girl after my own heart when it comes to samplers. I actually think that this is going to, I'm going to run out of space on my phone before I get to all of that. So maybe I'll film a separate video that will be potential starts for 2020, and it will also talk about my birthday sale, which will be March 1st of 2020. So we'll just do that. I am going to insert here, however, a start and a finish that I had since the last video, which is I did a motif from this chart for Diana for her birthday. I dug through all of my stuff trying to figure out what to stitch for her, and I was gonna do like something tombstone-y or a tombstone angel for her or some kind of sampler motif, and then I ran across this guy, this bunny riding a lion with a sword in his hand, and he just screamed her name. He was like, I need to be Diana's birthday battle bunny. So I stitched him. I'll insert a video here at the end of me filming it before I gifted it to her for her birthday. If you would like this chart or any charts by Air Latte Studio, they are being sold, I think, in 2020 exclusively by McKenna, and that is 1884stitchery.com. One day I'm going to stitch this entire bunny battle piece, maybe put a different saying in the middle, but it's so awesome. It's pulled from historical drawings, actually, and I mean, there's a bunny riding a lion, there's a dead bunny right there. It's fantastic. So check that out. That video will be next, and we'll go from there. Hope everybody had, if not a wonderful 2019, a 2019 that you're now ready to move forward from. And we're going to hit the ground running in 2020, and it's going to be better. And we're going to stitch all of the things. Bye, guys. Hey, guys. I'm adding this into my video. This is crazy hair, no makeup day after Christmas. But I'm about to mail this gift, and I realize that once I mail it, I won't have it to show to you. So I made this for Diana's birthday. She'll have it by the time that I put this up. I obviously have no idea the size of things because this was supposed to be a teeny tiny little cute pillow, and it turned out huge. So this is a bunny riding a lion, going into battle. This is going to be Diana's birthday battle bunny, and it's stitched on 40 count PTP Swamp, and I'm pulling threads off. 1/2, I stitched 1/2, that's crazy. Put a little decorative lace on there. It's got walnut shells in it. Put this vintage fabric that I had on the back of it, and like very crudely stitched up the middle. It's huge. It's like the biggest little pillow ever, but I hope she loves it. This is a motif from, I'm getting over a cold if I sound bad. This is a motif from Bunny Battle by Aerolatte Studio, which is only sold by 1884 Stitchery unless you find a used copy on like eBay or something. So if you think this is just the cutest thing ever, head over to McKenna's shop, 1884stitchery.com, and get a copy of this. One day I'm going to stitch the whole piece. It's like this amazingly wonderful thing. So this is going out in the mail today to Diana. Hopefully will be to her by her birthday. Bye.